This is Trend Following Radio, where great thinking comes alive. Nobel Prize winners, legendary traders, best-selling authors, and the pros that know what drive us irrational human beings. I am your host, Michael Covel. Not filtered, raw, honest. That's my passion. First, about that intro music, I don't care what your argument was or is, Bon Scott was better. Starting off today, I want to read a system. This is a system that I recently saw Hunter S. Thompson, the famed writer who's no longer with us. I want to read his daily routine, his daily system, and ponder this as you think about a trading system, perhaps. Here goes, and I'll try and do it as fast as I can. 24 hours with Hunter Thompson. 3 p.m. rise. 3:05 Chivas with morning papers, Dunhill cigarette. 3:45 cocaine. 3:50, and we're talking 3:50 p.m. Another glass of Chivas, Dunhill. 4:05 first cup of coffee, Dunhill. 4:15 cocaine. 4:16 orange juice, Dunhill. 4:30 cocaine. 4:54 cocaine. 5:05 cocaine. 5:11 coffee, Dunhills. 5:30 more ice in the Chivas. 5:45 cocaine. 6 p.m. grass to take the edge off. 7:05 Woody Creek Tavern for lunch. Heineken, 2 margaritas, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 orders of fries, a plate of tomatoes, coleslaw, a taco salad, a double order of onion rings, carrot cake, ice cream, bean fritter, Dunhills, another Heineken, cocaine, and for the ride home, a snow cone. A glass of shredded ice over which is poured 3 or 4 jiggers of Chivas. 9 p.m. cocaine, 10 p.m. drops acid, 11 p.m. chartreuse, cocaine grass, 11:30 cocaine. Midnight, Hunter ready to write. 12:05 to 6 a.m. chartreuse, cocaine grass, Chivas, coffee, Heineken, clove cigarettes, grapefruit, Dunhills, orange juice, gin. 6 a.m. in the hot tub, champagne, Dove bars, fettuccine Alfredo. 8 a.m. halcyon, 8:20 a.m. sleep. Now that is a hell of a system. There's not much difference in that system than the current system that most people follow for their trading and investment. Meaning most people don't have a strategy. I mean, even if Hunter Thompson is even remotely accurate in describing his system, it's just insanity. But most people's trading and investing strategies are insane by any known definition. For example, how many more years can we discuss Greece? Who gives a about Greece? Now, if you're Greek, pause for a second. I'm not talking about the people, the culture, etc. I'm talking about the mythological media creation of Greece as the linchpin that must be bailed out or not be bailed out, and the entire freaking world depends on Greece. You know what I say? Take the Band-Aid off and let's find out if we all die if Greece doesn't get bailed out or Greece is not a part of the euro. Now see, that to me, the conversation about Greece and whether or not the entire world falls apart because of Greece seems to me on the same plane. It's the same style of thinking as Hunter Thompson's daily routine. It's the same stuff, just written in a different way. And most likely the people that are making the decisions, the fat cat bureaucrats, and these are the idiots that are in the middle of solving, quote, solving everything. Look at China right now. Is China in a bubble? Well, who the hell knows if China's in a bubble? We won't know until the bubble pops. That's the way the world works. You can't predict these things. Is the American stock market in a bubble? Very respectful people. People that I admire, they're thinking very bright. Surely brighter than I. think that the US stock market is overvalued on an immense scale. But nobody, regardless of how bright they are, has the ability to tell you the top. Doesn't work that way. So again, all of the conversation, all of the blather, to me, it's the same blather, and that's why I read it. It's the same blather as reading Hunter Thompson's daily routine. And if you're out there thinking that maybe Thompson was exaggerating, I tell you what, I'm not so sure. Having read some of his stuff, seen some documentaries, I'm not so sure. I think the guy was absolutely out on a ledge. And he was able to compose some words that had meaning, that pushed a feeling. But that's one hell of a system. That's a system that I don't want. That's a system that won't help you. But it's a system not any different than the cacophony of voices telling you on a daily basis, this is what's going to happen with Greece. This is what's going to happen with China. This is what's going to happen with the United States of America. So what is the important issue here? If there's just one massive sticky film, oozing film that's just kind of covered society, that's caused so many people to lose touch with reality, the inability to think. What's happened? Where is the energy? Where is the zeal gone? Where is the ability for people to just call out bullshit? At some point in time, society needs to just say to the gatekeepers, to the information handlers, no, this is not the way it works. But on a micro level, for you sitting out there, I would argue the most important aspect to your success, whether that's as an entrepreneur, an investor, a trader, a venture capitalist, I would argue the most important aspect to your success is your passion. Your ability to stand up to the gatekeepers and not listen, to drive through, to not let all of these voices distract you, to stay focused on the show. A great Gary Shandling line for those that recall. I want to play an excerpt. This excerpt is from the film Birdman, a film that I thought was fantastic. In this excerpt, Michael Keaton's character approaches a New York Times critic, a theater critic, at a dive bar, and she looks the part. She really looks the part. She just doesn't look like a happy person at all. But she's a gatekeeper, and she thinks that she can destroy the passion of Michael Keaton. Keaton goes in, all guns a-blazing.
You don't get to come in here and pretend you can write, direct, and act in your own propaganda piece without coming through me first. So break a leg.
Wow. You know, what has to happen in a person's life for them to become a critic, anyway?
What are you writing, another review? Is it any good? Is it? Is it bad? Did you even see this? Let me read it.
I will call the police.
Call the police. Let's read your fucking review. Callow. Callow's a label. Just, lackluster. That's just the labels. Marginal, are you kidding me? It sounds like you need penicillin to clear that out. That's a label too. These are just all labels. You just label everything. That's so fucking lazy. You're a lazy fucker. You're a lazy. You know what this is? Do you even know what that is? You don't. You know why? Because you can't see this thing if you don't know how to label it. You mistake all those little noises in your head for true knowledge.
Are you finished?
No, I'm not finished. There's nothing in here about technique. There's nothing in here about structure. Nothing in here about intention. It's just a bunch of crappy opinions backed up by even crappier comparisons. You write a couple of paragraphs, and you know what? None of this costs you fucking anything. You risk nothing. Nothing. I'm a fucking actor. This play cost me everything. So I'll tell you what, you take this fucking malicious, cowardly, shittily written review, you shove that right the fuck up your wrinkly, tight ass.
You're no actor, you're a celebrity. Let's be clear on that. I'm gonna kill your play.
A fantastic clip, a fantastic movie. You can feel the passion from Michael Keaton's character. I would argue, again, that is the critical distinction for success. If you don't have that, you have already failed. You can't find an investing system. You can't find a trading system. You can't find a damn way to the bathroom if you don't have the attitude. Let me read a great quote that I caught in a Ben Horowitz commencement speech. Ben Horowitz of the venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz. Quote, "The easiest way to be liked is to tell people what they want to hear. And you know what everyone wants to hear? What they already believe to be true. And so the last thing they want to hear is an original idea that contradicts their belief system. So it's very hard to even bring that kind of stuff up. But those are the things, those are the only things that you believe that everybody around you doesn't believe when you're in the right, that create real value in the world. Everything else people already know, there's no value created. It's just business as usual." The business as usual is the constant discussion of Greece, the constant discussion of China or American bubbles. That's business as usual. You, however, are an individual. You're not part of the crowd. If the crowd wants to accept a message from the European bureaucrats, and they want to just believe anything and everything that is said, and they no longer have any critical thinking, well, damn straight, let them go that way. My message isn't for those people. I can't convince any of those people. That's not my objective. I think my real objective is to have a running diary, a running conversation with myself, to memorialize as we go down this path of losing all ability to think, where feeling is the judgment. Feeling is the way to success. Well, damn straight, if being a thinking person is going down with a sinking ship, I'm sinking. But you know what? There's always going to be a hell of a lot more money to be made on the thinking side of it. Again, you can have the system of Hunter Thompson in his daily regimen of coke, weed, and beer. You can do that routine, and maybe you can be successful. And again, I would argue that that routine is about the same damn routine as the powers that be want to describe the typical events that seem to so typically happen all the time. But can you break outside? And that's what I love. But can you break outside? Because if you can't break outside, you're already gone. You're done. You're toast. You're finished. I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area. If you want a job filing paper, you can go work for any number of federal agencies. You'll sit in a chair. Within 6 months to a year, your body will start to look like that chair. You'll start to have that really disgusting pouch hanging over, so you can't even see your junk anymore. Or you can choose another direction. I know for some of you out there right now, you might be thinking, Mike, there's no direction here. This doesn't make sense. No, it makes sense. Because there is no straight line. You either know or you don't know. So how do you approach this? What's another great way to think? Christopher Hitchens had a passage that hits the nail squarely. Quote, "Beware the irrational, however seductive. Shun the transcendent, and all who invite you to subordinate or annihilate yourself. Distrust compassion. Prefer dignity for yourself and others. Don't be afraid to be thought arrogant or selfish. Picture all experts as if they were mammals. Never be a spectator of unfairness or stupidity. Seek out argument and disputation for their own sake. The grave will supply plenty of time for silence. Suspect your own motives and all excuses. Do not live for others any more than you would expect others to live for you. End quote. That sounds like something that I would have seen straight out of Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead, which I'm not going to read The Fountainhead today, but if you've not read The Fountainhead and you want to know something about passion and sticking with it for a long time to find success, read The Fountainhead. And if you have some political persuasion that somehow or another has allowed you to concoct some type of excuse for why The Fountainhead is not accurate, now please go look into the mirror and stop lying to yourself. It all comes down to the passion and walking around those that want to stop your passion. Because if there's an obstacle in front of you, you have to go around it. You have to go through it. You have to go over it. You have to go under it. You have to smash it. There is not enough time in the day when you want to get ahead. Now, I hope I don't have to add the reminder that what I'm saying is paramount for any life success, including something like my passion, trend following trading. I want to end with a passage that I've played before. It's terribly important to me. I think this is one of the wisest public speakers, thinkers of the 20th and 21st century. This is an excerpt from a Pink Floyd documentary. Roger Waters is speaking and he's playing some music. He's talking about his song Brain Damage from the album The Dark Side of the Moon. You might not immediately recognize the title Brain Damage, but some of those lyrics, the lunatic is on the grass, got to keep the loonies on the path. I'm not going to take away from Waters' thunder and how he explains it. But if you find yourself always staying off the grass, if you always just listen to the system to tell you to stay on the path, why the hell are you listening to me?
There's a tendency within most societies to try and force everybody into a particular regimen and to stop people walking on the grass. There's something about, I suppose, about that particular lyric. There's something about the idea of producing grass and then not letting anybody enjoy it, you know. Let's make a beautiful lawn and then not let anybody walk on it or play on it or kick a ball about on it or do anything on it. And in a way, it's the idea of actually the desire to walk on the grass being mad. You know, there's something wrong about that. And the piece of grass that I had in my mind is there's a big square lump of grass between King's College Chapel and the River Cam in Cambridge, which I don't know why, but that's actually the bit of grass I was thinking about when I was writing that thing, which is a very keep-off bit. Is on the grass. The lunatic is on the grass. Remembering games and daisy chains. lots and lots. Got to keep the loonies on the pot. The lunatic is in the hall. The lunatic is in the hall. The paper holds their folded faces to the floor. And every day the paper boy brings more. And if the dam breaks open many years too soon, there is no room upon the hill. And if your head explodes with dark forebodings too, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. The lunatic is in my head. The lunatic is in my head. You raise the blade, you make the change, you rearrange me till I'm sane. You lock the door and throw away the key. And there's someone in my head, but it's not me. And if the cloud bursts, thunder in your ear, you shout and no one seems to hear. And if the band you're in starts playing different tunes, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
I see a time when those awake will understand how to make money in up, down, and surprise markets. Whether new trader or experienced, college student or financial advisor, protecting against a crash or just trying to make a lot of money, trend following offers everyone an answer in uncertain times. To get started immediately, send me an email, michael@covel.com. I will send you the right trend following steps to take along with my free video. But if you want to buy and hold, trust the government and trust Wall Street, this is absolutely not for you.